Good morning. This is Erica with Aurora Heart Healing. Today I have a collective healing that is pretty interesting because it started before I started recording. I have a list of positive affirmations that we will be looking at and working with to see why we have resistance to these positive affirmations. I have some angel numbers that this collective will need and want to listen to. And I have a couple of tarot cards that we will be pulling during this energy clearing. So, first, I will look at, if you've never been to my page, I am going to use my pendulum. I'm going to find the energies that are causing resistance or causing issues in your life. As you resonate with those emotions, you allow yourself to feel them, lean into them, and then allow yourself to heal them by letting them go, acknowledging them before you try to let them go, because a lot of times when we're not acknowledging what we feel, that is the reason why they stay stuck and why we stay stuck as well. So, the word of the day, the positive affirmation, this is from my positive affirmations for a positive inner voice. This is my worksheet that I created for my clients to help any of my clients that have issues with their positive inner voice. The first one that I found was I am beautiful inside and out, but it's not the first one we're going to work on. I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am a survivor, a warrior, a leader. Okay, I am going to write that down because I want to make sure that we use this. Also, I put all of this information in the description so that you have all of this information to look back on and to reflect on. Okay. So I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am a survivor, a warrior, a leader. Are there any trapped energies for this collective that are causing resistance to this belief? So there is. Is it in my reference pages? Is it in body code? Is it in the will centers? Is it a no will to? It's a will to. A, odd row, 2, 4, first, second. A will to be alone. So a will to be alone is causing us to feel like we are victims of our circumstance. That others have caused issues, hurts, pains, and that those circumstances have made us a victim. And it's easier to be alone and isolate than it is to face and speak out. Okay, is there any more energies? Is there emotions that we need to discuss? Is it a different kind of emotion? Is it in these wheels? Experiences by Brene Brown. It's the 78 human experiences and emotions. Is it here in this row? Is it in this row? Is it in this row? Here, here. Anger, contempt, disgust. Ooh, disgust. I am getting disgust as if disgust with the behavior of people, disgust with the way others think, their thought processes. Why would someone do this is another thing that's coming up to me. Is there more emotions? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Is it in body sensations? Is it here? Here? Blame. Blame is another emotion that we need to look at. Blame, when we blame someone else, it means that we do not take responsibility for anything that we did within any given situation, which that can lead to lack of development. It can also give your sense of power to another person. So instead of you being the powerful being that says, okay, this is what was handed to me, this is what I'm going to do with it, you give your power away and say, well, it's their fault. And if this hadn't have happened, then this wouldn't have happened. And now I'm still in this stuck mentality. So blame can really leave us stuck. And it can prevent us from understanding our role in any given situation and how we also have the power, the ability to change the circumstances by becoming that survivor or that warrior or that leader. And it doesn't mean warrior in a sense of hurting others. It means warrior in a sense of, I have been wounded, but I will pick myself up and I can also spread healing through this. There is more emotions. Just looking into the emotions. Dishonor. What I was hearing with dishonor is that sometimes people dishonor us and they truly wound us and they hurt us and they do things that we never thought possible. That's the reason why it hurts so much, is because we have allowed someone to get as close as anyone ever can. And through that closeness, we are unfortunately hurt by the people that we love. And that comes with a sense of dishonor, a lack or loss of dignity, glory, respect, or repute, shame, feeling ashamed, feeling insulted or violated. So depending on what happened, we can feel violated by others. Whether it be physically or emotionally, mentally even, people can say things that make us feel violated. People can behave in different ways that make us feel violated. And then we go into the victim state of, this is what this person did, again, blaming, instead of looking at ourselves and saying, I am not going to take this on. This is not mine. I'm going to give you guys an example. So it is a really sad reality, but it is a truth. Myself and my children, every one of them, have been called the N-word at least one time in our lives. And it is a very painful thing as a mom for my children to come to me and say, Mom, this is what someone called me. And my children range from age 15, 13, and 8. So every single one of them has experienced being called that at least once in their life, if not more times. That creates a sense of dishonor because someone is violating our sense of autonomy because of the color of our skin. That means that they are verbally hurtful to us. But whenever I talk to my children about that, I tell them that it is very sad that they are being taught those things, because children do not just learn that. They don't just pick it up, or they don't just start out with saying things of that nature. They are being taught that, and that is being shown to them, so that's why they express themselves in that way, because they don't know any better, unfortunately. And by saying, what do you believe you are? Who do you believe you are? Away from what another person says, who are you? And with the confidence in themselves, they rattle off what each one is respectively for their age group, how confident they can be in any given situation. And then we forgive the other people for possible ignorance, for not knowing any better. And then we love ourselves through that, because we're not a victim. We're strong. If one of them said something back, I make sure that they're saying it out of not trying to fight, but also standing their ground. And that means that they would be leaders, they would be warriors at that point, because instead of playing into ignorance and painful cycles, they get a chance to say, I'm going to ignore you, or that's really sad that you think that way. Any range of varieties, any range of responses that they have told me at this point in their lives that they use. So, dishonor. Frustration, delays, lack, failure. Frustration due to failure. When we feel that our worth is threatened, maybe by being called a name, maybe by being told that somehow, some way we are not good enough in one way or another, we can feel frustration of feeling like somehow we have failed. We have failed in providing or living up to standards or whatever the case may be. But we can fall into victimhood by feeling like we're failures, because then there is no up. It is, we have failed. Failure is definitive. It's just there, it's done, everything's done. But when we believe, hey, this is success and progress, this happened for a reason, whatever the reason is, I don't know, but I know that I'm going to move forward with this in a powerful way. So many people do not know this, but I started my energy healing business almost 10 years ago initially. When I first started, it was because I had first become certified in the emotion code, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. Well, I made poor financial decisions. Also, there was a lot of things that were told to me that might not, I could have held off on, or I could have waited, or I could have figured out different ways to go about these things. But long story short, I fell flat on my face, and my business never lifted off the ground. So in that time frame, in those 10 years, I still practiced my craft. I still helped people through the emotion code and developed more skills through meditation, through reading other modalities such as T3 therapy, which was an amazing addition. I found them through Dr. Bradley Nelson, which I now think he calls it the belief code. I found Compassion Key and learned how to be more compassionate, hold space for others. And through those different frustrations, the initial frustration that I had of completely falling on my face, I built new and better ways to create a system. I learned within that time frame how to be more organized within my business. I learned how to file receipts, different various things in my life. I took from them and I was able to cultivate a stronger sense and a stronger foundation for my business. Moving forward, when I started my business this time around within the last 3 years, I was scared, so scared that I would fail. And I stopped looking at it as I'm going to fail and this is the end all be all, because I had failed once and I was still alive and still kicking and I still wanted to do this. So the second time around, I came at it as I'm going to stumble, I'm going to fall, possibly scrapes and bumps and bruises, but this is success and failure. Success in progress. This is success in progress. I am progressing towards my ultimate goal of success. And as I've continued to work through these thoughts, these beliefs, the things that made me think that because I did one thing wrong or because this didn't really work out, like having a separate calendar system, that it was okay, but it wasn't meeting all of my needs, and then switching over to that, changing banks over. All of these different evolutions were not failure. They were leading me up to a better way of doing things for myself, for me. So it's not failure. The only failure is stopping. And when we stop, that is when we become the victim again. Because we say, you have power, it's not my fault, blaming whoever else, whatever else we can blame, but I'm going to give this to you instead of take my power and say, no, I can do this. Is there any other emotions that we need to look at for this collective? Here, hatred. Ooh, strong word. Hatred. So this is a word that I actually don't allow my children to say in the house. And some people might think it's silly or funny or whatever the case may be, but it is a word that is very strong and it has a lot of anger, rage behind it in a lot of ways. This hatred is coming from hurt love. So that is a different type of hatred that someone can experience. So when our love has been hurt or betrayed, it can make us feel like a victim. And that circles back to what we had spoken about before, wanting to be alone because our love has been hurt. Someone betrayed us, someone did something behind our back, someone did something that we never thought they were capable of. And it has created this hatred within us that is really just love that we sent out that came back wounded and hurt. And that can make us feel like a victim inside. And we can continue to carry that burden, or we can say, this is what I'm going to learn from this situation. I'm not going to do that again. Or that's just not my tribe. I know how I feel and how I want to show up in the world. And if the people or the person is not showing up in this way, then maybe it's better for me to move on to a different path, because we all have different paths on this journey. So the hatred here is just love that is hurting. And that is feeding, I am not a victim, feeding resistance to believing I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am a survivor, a warrior, a leader. Is there any other emotions that we need to know? Is there, okay, so we're going to get an angel number. I'm seeing 363. 363. 363. Your heart is expanding and you are opening up your spiritual senses. It's important to make sure you are calling in support and protection from the divine to sustain your expansion. You're expanding into, I am not a victim of my circumstances, because you choose if that's going to demolish you and lay you flat on the floor, or if it is going to turn you into a survivor, a warrior, and a leader. Is there any other numbers that we need? 374, 374. 374. Your angels approve of your current intentions. Know that you are being encouraged to take the steps to make them reality, to become a leader, a warrior, and a survivor. Good to know that we have angels' approvals. Life purpose card. Life purpose. We'll see what's going on with Miss Doreen Virtue. Chatty. Little less, my friends, a little less, a little less. Ooh, still a lot. So we stay in victim mentality. Our souls do not allow for creative expression. And that's what your soul is longing for. Because when we believe we are a victim, then we don't have the power to create, express, voice, be who we are, show up authentically. We get stuck. Books. Read books to change your mindset, to change some of your thoughts and processes, some of your beliefs. What you are doing is you are leaving a legacy for the children that come after you. Even if you don't have children of your own and you influence children in one way or another in your life, you will influence them regardless, because you will be in this earth with them. And the more that you believe that you are not a victim, but you are a leader, you strive for better in this world and for yourself, you'll be able to make beautiful, amazing strides to other people, for other people. You are able to discern answers and guidance for yourself and others. This one, victims are so powerless. They're hopeless. They're helpless. When you are a leader, when you are someone that has learned from your experience and taking them and saying, I'm not going to let this destroy me. When you become that spiritual warrior that says, I know hurt people, so I will heal myself so that I don't have to hurt people. When we become those survivors of our past and what happened to us in life, we understand that we have the power to have the strongest intuition for not just ourselves, but for others as well. We help, we guide. Our strong foundation within us creates a strong foundation around us. and we become safe spaces for other people to express themselves, to really, truly speak out. You are powerful. Is there any other? Okay, so while I was reading, 923 came out. So, 923, you're seeing signs and you are in touch with the kingdom of heaven. The key to this connection is the love within you. Okay, my friends, I think that is the most perfect note to end on. When you trust yourself, when you're not a victim, but a warrior, a leader, you are in touch with the kingdom of heaven. You are giving the world everything that not only you need, but the world needs too. If anyone ever feels despair because they're looking around in the world and saying, oh my gosh, there's so much destruction and suffering, know that we can look at it like that and think we're victims, or we can lead with our hearts, with our minds, with our souls, and we can be more connected. So I love you all. Thank you so much. And if you had any resistances listening to any of these, let me know. We brought a lot of emotion and energy to light. And if you're having trouble navigating those shadows, let me know. I would love to help guide you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.